Bottom line viewers, it's Mitch back here. It's been a while since I've gone live. It's been a while since you've seen my face. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys. Question and answer. And just let you know what's going on in the channel, what's going on in the world of the Bottom Line View. And I want to keep you guys updated so that you know what's going on, so you know what the channel is doing, so you know what I'm thinking, what's going to be happening this offseason. And I also feel like some changes are coming that I feel like I need to address and get out there, and I do feel like I need to give you my thoughts out loud. So we're going to get into that. I'll also accept any questions you have for me regarding the NFL or anything else in my life right now. You guys can definitely ask me any questions. That's why I'm here. This video won't be up too long, maybe a week, maybe a day, maybe two, depends how I feel. But yeah, let's have some fun tonight. I decided why not? I've spent a week in New York. I haven't really done much on YouTube as of late. I've made a couple of videos, which hopefully you've checked out regarding free agency, the top 20 offensive free agents, the top 20 defensive free agents, and then my predictions regarding the quarterbacks in free agency. If you haven't already checked those videos out, guys, make sure you do check those videos out, because this is a big reason why some change, and I'm going to make a little bit of change on the channel, is that YouTube is not doing a very good job of distributing my content to you guys. Even some of the most loyal subscribers that watch all of my videos are finding it hard to find the videos with a consistent basis and not getting all the notifications. So the first step to trying to fix this is going to be to create a Discord for all of the loyal subscribers, for all of the people that want to join the Discord community. And if you've never heard of Discord, it's primarily like a esports streamer community type of platform where it's like a chat feature. So you go in there and you could chat with the entire Bottom Line View community. You could chat with me, ask me any questions whenever I'm in there. And it's just a good way to get notifications to my latest video. It's a good way to find out what's going on the channel, what's going on with people and your favorite other subscribers that love this channel and love the NFL. So it's just going to be a way to connect with the community on a more consistent basis. Kevin Durcan is already in there, hoping to get all of you guys in there as well. I posted the link already in the live chat. I will post it again though, and then it's also in the description of this video if you want to check that out. This is going to be a big thing for me, and hopefully you do respect this and join this. It's up to you guys, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. If you're an NFL fan, which I know you are, if you like this channel, which if you're watching this video, you probably do, and if you like some of the people that you see in the chat on a consistent basis, you're definitely gonna join this Discord, because it's just gonna be a great way of connecting with the community. So here you go. There's a link. You can sign up. It's often you can sign up on your phone. You can work it from your computer desktop as well. It's better from your phone though. So download the app on your phone if you need to, or download the app on your computer. But just make sure you get in that Discord so you stay up to date with the latest on the channel. That's one way I'm going to go about fixing the notification issue, which I've been having a lot of issues just with the consistent viewership of the video, because a lot of you guys just simply aren't getting the videos. And I feel like I've been putting out some of my best videos lately. And I do want to thank some of the new subscribers that I've gotten over the last couple of days. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers from the Patrick Mahomes video, which has recently kind of blown up. It just went over 10K. So I thank you guys. If you're new and you just watched that video and you're just tuning into this video, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting that video. It was I feel like one of my best videos, so thank you for watching that. Also, guys, I do want to get this out there. If you aren't already, I know you're subscribed if you're watching this, most likely, but if for whatever reason, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But the second thing is, okay, we need to hit that notification bell, all right? So subscribe, hit that notification bell. Once you hit subscribe, you can hit the notification bell as it says on this video. Then you press all. That's very key. So I'm going to play this again. You got to press all. You can't just press personalized. You have to press all to get every single video that comes out from this channel. All right, so enough of that. I want to take the questions. Let's have some fun, but I just wanted to get that formality out of the way, and then I'll get a little bit into what I'm going to be doing this offseason a little bit as we kind of get into it. So, Mr. Highman says hi. The next guy, I don't know how to say his name. Let's say Sri Harsha says hello. I think that's how he says his name, but I have no idea, but hello. Flame says, what's going on, Mitch? What's going on, Flames? Having a good one. Yeah, I had a good week last week in New York. It was a lot of fun. I hope you're doing well as well. Chiefs Rule says, champions! Yes, Kansas City Chiefs, champions. If you haven't already seen that Mahomes video, I'm sure you would appreciate it. Cup of Joe says, I'm back. Will you try a podcast? Okay, so this is something I do want to bring up. I do want to say is I am thinking of kind of switching a little bit of the format of this channel. I don't exactly know 100%, but it's going to be NFL. Nothing changes there. But I'm thinking of doing, like, especially when I'm not in school, when I get out of school for at least the summer months, I'm thinking of trying to do a podcast every day. So like a podcast from Monday to Friday, every day of the week. This is my thought. Let me know if you guys like this or not. So give me your feedback. This is my thought. So doing a podcast every day from Monday to Friday as it were like a show. And then you guys would all tune in at the same time. It would probably be somewhere from the morning to the afternoon. And then what I would do from there is it would be like a podcast, but it would be the way that I make my content typically. But it would be in a podcast format. And then I would take that podcast and I would split it up into individual videos and separate those videos and release them as well for the hot topics. And you guys would be able to watch the videos like that. It would be a way for me to get more content out there, easier. It wouldn't be as difficult to edit for me, but it might also be better for you guys because I know that a big part of this channel, a lot of people like to be live. A lot of people like to see me live, and a lot of people like to participate in the live chat, and I know that's a big thing for this channel. So if you guys would enjoy that, let me know. I have a bigger, flesh it out idea. I'd probably bring on some guests every once in a while. It would be like the topic videos, but just throughout an entire video, and I think I'd be able to cover more. I think this would be especially great when it comes to free agency. I think it would really help during free agency. I don't know when I would start this, when I would experiment with it, but it's just an idea that I've been floating around in my mind. So let me know if you do enjoy that. But I know that a couple people have said you should do a podcast. I do feel like doing a podcast that way would be the best way to start the podcast, to do it on YouTube, because that's where my fan base is. That's where the subscribers are at. That's where the people that enjoy me are at. But then from there, potentially putting it on other platforms as well and spreading it out that way. So let me know if you enjoy that idea. I could always change it, or I could not do it at all. Let me know what you guys think. I would also do other videos. Most likely, I'd do those Monday to Friday, which would be a lot like the videos I already do. It would just be in a podcast form. But then I would allow me maybe on the weekends to do, when I'm not doing the podcast and I'm not spending as much time editing after the fact, I'm just doing the editing live during the video. It would allow me to maybe make more projects like the Chiefs Mahomes video or the Kyle Shanahan video or whatever it may be for the weekends, and I could release those on the weekends. So like kind of bigger, more edited videos on the weekends, and then the podcast with the opinion pieces during the weekdays. That's kind of my thought right now, but let me know what you guys think. Isaiah says, what do you think of Jeff Okada? I really have not looked much at all, so I don't really want to give you any sort of opinion yet, because I can't really give you a great opinion yet, to be quite honest with you. When I get to the draft and when I get to the scouting, which will be very soon, which will be probably about the same time that I start doing the free agency reaction. So once the free agency gets underway and I'm kind of done all the predictions for free agency and all of that, like the beef of free agency, then I will get into the draft scouting process and I will be able to let you know my opinion. But until then, I don't want to give you an opinion because it would just be other people's opinions at this point, not my own. So I don't want to really share that. Guitar Loving Teen says, damn, Ghost showing up for once. Yeah, he is showing up. What's going on, Ghost? John P says, what's good? Kevin says, Chiefs rule, the glee of being a fan of a Super Bowl champ will last forever. I know this. Patriots fans have experienced it 6 times. Kevin knows. Kevin Urquhart says, Mitch, tell me about Good Morning Football. So, I wasn't actually at NFL Network. It was at NFL Films, which you probably don't know this, but Good Morning Football is filmed at 2 places. So it's filmed both at NFL Network in Times Square, and it's also filmed in New Jersey at NFL Films. So that day, the few of us that went on this New York trip for Ryerson were able to go to NFL Films the whole day. You know, we met all the producers, the people that create the experience of the NFL Films, the composers, the camera guys, all of that. So we met all those guys. It was an incredible experience. These people are amazing at what they do, and they showed us what they do and how they do it. And then we went saw the stages and all that sort of stuff. So it's basically a replica of the Good Morning Football, but we didn't actually see like the talent. So we didn't see like Nate Burleson or anything like that because they weren't filming that day on that set. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see those guys, but it was still an awesome set. It was a really cool place to be. And that was just the start of an awesome trip. And NFL Films, I mean, it's like a dream come true going there. It was pretty cool to be there, and I hope I can be there again one day. Ghost Skittle says, you excited for the Combine? As excited as you can be for the Combine. I don't think I'm super excited because, like I said, I'm not, like, hugely invested yet into the players themselves. The Combine is usually the first time I actually get to take a look at the players and, like, figure out who these guys are and who I like. I'll have to, take a look at some other stuff before then just to get a better idea. But that's usually when I start, which I believe is mostly when the NFL guys actually start doing it, other than the advanced scouts. But the actual NFL coaches don't really take a look much into the talent other than the guys that they're going to interview at the Combine. Cup of Joe says he loves the podcast idea. Run CMC says podcast, not podcast. That's what I said. I hate when people say it like that. What's the difference, bro? Podcast. Bro, what's the difference, Run CMC? Kevin Durkant says he wants to be a guest. It sounds lit. Hayden says, sorry for spamming that podcast. Wanted to know. It's okay. Kevin Durkant says the Dolphins are taking over the NFL in 2021. Joseph says, do you think the Skins go for a corner or stick with the youth? Corner is a bigger need. I do think that they're going to try and get a corner, whether that's... I actually have a pretty good idea in free agency, and I'm sure you've heard the rumors about the player potentially coming to Washington that I think, has connections there already. Don't want to straight give it away because I'm probably going to make that my prediction in the prediction video, which will probably be out tomorrow night. Sometime. I'm working on a few videos for the free agency, more free agency videos than I've ever done. You try and go bigger and better. I'm doing a 60 player prediction video. I'm doing an underrated players video with predictions. I'm doing his tier 2 prediction. So I'm going to be covering, guys, within the next 3 to 4 days. You need to check it out because I'm doing, probably over 120 predictions for all the free agents that are actually decently big names, as people are yelling in my hallway. I don't know what that was. Sometimes it's just there's people in my next door and they just go crazy. I don't understand it. But anyways, don't want to speak too loud in case they can hear me, but yeah. All right. Hot Take Hockey. What's going on, John? Congratulations on the big day. I was tracking it all day during class, which you should be happy you missed class today. Actually, the music class wasn't bad today, but The sport law class was pretty boring. So congratulations on missing class, and also congratulations on the big time day over there at Hot Take Hockey. If you're not already subscribed to Hot Take Hockey, make sure you do go over there. It's a big time for hockey. Trade deadline today. Of course, you could catch me on a podcast, if you didn't already know, every Friday, where I talk hockey with John and a couple of our friends from the school at Ryerson. And we do like a live radio broadcast. So go subscribe to John if you haven't already. Yeah, did you hear that guitar? That sounded like, it sounded like somebody was getting, I don't even know what was going on. Julian, what's up, bro? Am I excited about free agency? I'm very excited about free agency. I think free agency is going to be insane. I think free agency is going to be like what the NHL trade deadline was, but it's going to be even better. It's going to be that good. Flame says, let's go Islanders. Ugh. Blah. I just saw an Islanders game on Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. They're an interesting team to watch live. I do really love their fans. I love the live experience. But in terms of watching them actually play, not super exciting, especially against the Detroit Red Wings. Not the best. Zane says, are you always baked or just during vids? I'm not baked during my vids. Sorry. Does it seem like that? Sorry. I didn't mean to look. But maybe it's just that I'm that creative that I have to be on drugs. I don't know. Maybe that's a compliment. Run CMC insists that I'm saying podcast wrong. Who's my cup pick? I assume you mean the NHL? Well, I think right now, I said the East. Ooh, that's a good question. Because I don't really know the West. I don't really know my West pick right now. I think we talked about this a little bit. I'm actually just going to look at the teams real quick. But in terms of the East, I think the East is going to win the Stanley Cup. I said this already on the podcast on Hot Take Hockey. I do really like my Penguins this year. I think they got a chance, even though they're kind of on a slide right now. They lost 3 straight. But I think once they get healthy, they're going to be a powerhouse in the East. Washington's always there. I think I like Tampa over Boston right now, even though Boston's the number 1 team in the NHL, I believe, and the number 1 team in the Atlantic. I do think Tampa Bay, it might actually be their year to sneak up on them and beat them. I think they're the more well-rounded team. I think they have better depth all around. And Boston, it's tough 2 years in a row to go a full entire, it's hard to go back-to-back in the NHL, but they lost in the finals, and then to go back to the finals and win, it's very difficult to do. So I'm not sure I'm sold on them to do that. But I definitely think the East is between 4 teams, Washington, Pittsburgh, Boston, Tampa Bay, and I think it's going to be Pittsburgh versus Tampa in the East, and I'm going to just say Pittsburgh because they're my team, but I could see any of those 4 teams. But I'm not making my full prediction until we get to that point. Now, as far as the Western Conference goes, I don't want it to be St. Louis. I'm just going to be honest because they won the Stanley Cup last year. I'm hoping it's like Dallas or Colorado. I could see Vegas getting in there. Honestly, Edmonton doesn't have a lot of depth, but with McDavid and some of the studs they have on their team, they could always surprise a team or two. But really, as of now, I think the West is relatively weak. I think it's going to be like, I could see Vegas sneaking up in there, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to say it's going to be Colorado. Just right now, that's where I'm going, Colorado. That's my pick as of now. Let's go with that. Would you fight Antonio Brown? No, I wouldn't, because I want him to be on the Patriots next year. NBA at all, says Run CMC. Do I watch the NBA? If you look behind me, I have a poster of the Lakers. So, yeah, I watch some. I don't really get massively into the NBA, though, until later in the season. As the years have gone on, it's been kind of hard for me to consistently keep up with the NBA. I just don't follow the regular season the way that I used to, and I just don't find it as interesting. Especially with a channel about the NFL, it's if you really want to be informed about one league and be a source in one league, you have to be up on everything in that one league and try to be an expert as much as you can. So it's difficult to cover all the leagues, especially with me now doing NHL stuff, and I like to keep up on the NHL because I'm a Canadian and I like hockey more than basketball. But I do get into the NBA more so at the later part of the season and into the playoffs. Right now, though, I think the Clippers are going to win the whole thing. That's just me. I'm a Lakers fan, but I think the Clippers will beat them when it all comes down to it. Don't at me, all right? Don't at me. Don't at me. Okay. New York Phenom says, what to do, bottom line? What's going on, man? Ghost Skittle says, Tampa may pull a Capitals. And Ghost Skittle says, Vegas, question mark. Yeah, I don't mind Vegas. Kyle says, hey, Mitch, I haven't really watched Stephon Gilmore play. Can you describe what makes him one of the best at his position? Ooh, you haven't seen Stephon Gilmore play. That's a crime, Kyle. If you call yourself an NFL fan, you need to go check out Stephon Gilmore, even if it's the highlights. What makes Stephon Gilmore the best at his position? Ooh, that's a good question. I think, let's start off with physically. I think physically he really doesn't get beat in any regard. I mean, he's not the fastest, but he's not slow. He's definitely got the speed to keep up with almost every receiver in the league, you know, outside of like Tyreek Hill, which is an obvious case. He's got great length, and he's like about 6'1". He's really physical. He's strong at the line of scrimmage. He can play good press coverage. He's just an excellent man-to-man cover guy. Like he can blanket anybody, whether it's on the left, the right, the slot. I think, though, what we've seen from Gilmore over the last couple of years, and I will say this about Gilmore, which is rare for any corner, is his ability to cover all different types of receivers, whether that's a small guy, a tall guy, you know, a Mike Evans or a Julian Edelman. I feel like he could cover all of those type of guys because he has the quickness to cover an Edelman, but he also has the speed and the height to cover an Evans. So that physically makes him very good. But I think what separated him this year specifically is his just general awareness and football IQ. He has a really good understanding of baiting a quarterback to, you know, throw a pass that isn't necessarily there. He's able to tip it down. He has great speed to close on the ball. Just really good general awareness to take away, you know, in a zone coverage, multiple receivers running into his area. Really, he doesn't do anything not at an elite level. I don't think Gilmore has a single flaw in his game, specifically from this year. I mean, he really was, other than Aaron Donald, I think you would say right now he's the best defensive player in the league. So that's what makes Stephon Gilmore great. I could probably go deeper into that, but that's kind of like on the surface of it. Singh says California is losing in the championship recently in NFL, NBA, and MLB. That's pretty true. Julian says, hey, it was pretty cool to see you, Mitch, at the Good Morning Football studio. Thank you, Julian. Yeah, it was awesome to be there. And like I said earlier, I hope I can get there again at some point, or at least, you know, be there again at some point. Ghost Skittle says, Lowry was good in the playoffs last year, and they don't even need him to be the best player. He says the East will be Milwaukee or Toronto. I agree with that. I think it will be Milwaukee, but if it's not Milwaukee, I think it will be Toronto. I hope it's Toronto. Kyle Lowry is very inconsistent in the playoffs, though. He was great last year, but years before that, he wasn't very good. Colorado. Do you say How do other people say it? I know other people say it other ways. I can't even say it. Like, I can't even think it and say it. But that's how I say it. Colorado. Flame says, what do you think the Packers will do in free agency? I think the Packers definitely need linebackers, and I think they will address that position. They also probably, I think they're pretty much set at the edge position, and mostly in the secondary. You know, they might add like a depth guy there, but I think it's mostly going to be, you're going to see they're going to add a receiver on offense. I think they're going to add a linebacker on defense and probably a big defensive lineman. Those are probably the three areas that they really need to address. And honestly, I could see the Packers being even better next year if they address those areas and get the talent that I like at those areas, and then have a solid draft. I think they have a really bright future. I'm a little skeptical on Matt LaFleur going into his second season, but they have Aaron Rodgers, and they have, you know, a pretty solid foundation. Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, a pretty good offensive line. They do need to look to re-sign Brian Bulaga, though. That will be a big loss if they do lose him. So those are the areas that I'm really looking at for the Packers, and those are the areas that I'm predicting them to probably pick up some players. Kevin says, good morning, football Mitch. Did you get Kay Adams' phone number? I wish she was there. I definitely would have, and I definitely would have forwarded it to you, Kevin, if I would have. But like I said, she was not there, unfortunately. Even from a, you know, from side point of view, obviously Kay Adams is gorgeous, but I like her as a broadcaster. She's great. So even just to meet her there would have been really cool. Run CMC says, there's no way to explain it by typing. Devontae Adams is a top 5 receiver, says Kevin Durkant. Yes, he probably is. Probably is. I haven't really gone through that in my head yet. But yeah, he probably is. Guys, again, make sure that you do get in the Discord, new Discord for all the bottom line viewers out there. Make sure you get in that Discord. Join the Discord, please. You can get the latest updates on the channel, latest notification, so you don't have to have the notification bell on if it's not working. Obviously, I want you to have it on, but, you know, there's another way to get the content, and then you can also talk to me. You can chat with the other people. You can chat with Kevin Durkant. You can chat with Ghost Skittle, whoever it may be, whoever floats your boat. You know, you can get in there and have a great time, whether that's next season watching the NFL live on Sunday, whether that's watching the NFL draft. You could be in the Discord chatting with people. You could get the updates when I'm going live. You could get the updates when I'm putting a video out. You could get the updates while I'm editing a video. You could maybe get previews of what's going on. I'm going to snap some videos, give you the heads up on what's going on, how far away am I, maybe a preview of the next video coming out. That will all be in the Discord. So if that isn't enough for you to join the Discord, I don't know what to tell you. Just go to the Discord, join the link, download it on your phone. Do it. All right, do it. As Shia LaBeouf will say, do it. Singh says, Mitch, who is the scariest quarterback in the NFL right now? Clarify the question. Do you mean like the toughest to game plan for, like the scariest to play, or like the scariest in terms of like he really sucks and I don't want him on my team? Busboy, it would be a good idea. Definitely download it, and because if you're a fan of this channel, you'll definitely want to have it. Singh says, Mitch, is Rivers the best trash quarterback in the league? Trash quarterback. Damn, Toronto, shut up. I would say best trash quarterback. Who's the best trash quarterback? The best trash quarterback's Jameis Winston, and there is no doubt about it. Jameis Winston, I don't even think, he might not even be trash. He might not even qualify as that, but he is. For some people, he does. So I would say Jameis Winston is the best trash quarterback. But Phillip Rivers is definitely in the conversation because he was not good last year. So for some reason, people still think Phillip Rivers is good. Kyle Davis says, where do you rank Richard Sherman amongst other cornerbacks today? Actually, Kyle, I'm going to be doing rankings for every position on how I feel, like at least top 10s for every position, if not the entire league. Like I'm going to be doing a ranking of every starting quarterback in the NFL. So for the corner position, if I just had to go at the top of my head, because I haven't even thought about that, I think Sherman last year was in the top 10. I don't know if I would put him in the top 5, even though, statistically, PFF ranked him like I think number 1 or number 2. He had a lot of passes defense. He had interceptions. But the thing about Sherman is I just don't think he has that speed. And I don't think, like, if you line him up on an island by himself, it's not the same as lining up like a Gilmore or one of these other guys, a Tre'Davious White. I think he's in the top 10, but I don't think he might not be in my top 5 for me personally. But he is very good still, and he had a great season this year. Arthur said, "Hey Mitch, what do you think about Chase Young and Trey Flowers working together? How scary on the scale of 1 to 10? Ultimately, I think Washington trades out and we get Young." Wow. I think Washington trades out. I don't think Washington will trade out, but if they do, because that's your question, I think that would be pretty scary. And, they just moved on from Snacks. I think that they're going to be signing a few big free agents this offseason, I should say. Whether that's like Joe Tooney at guard or like maybe a linebacker, maybe Kyle Van Noy, something like that. Maybe a Patriot again. Maybe a corner. I know they're looking to trade Slay potentially, so maybe they need to get a corner. But I do think the Lions are going to make noise in free agency, so that will start it. But if they get Young with Flowers, Flowers was really good last year. A lot of people, didn't really notice because he wasn't like phenomenal, but he was really good. And I think those two, because you could move Trey Flowers more to the inside and rush him from there and have Young off the edge. I don't know if it would be like a 10. It would be, because I don't know how Young is going to instantly impact the NFL. Is he going to be like Nick Bosa right away, or what is he going to be? But I would say it's like an 8. I think already you would have one of the best duos in the league, probably in the top 5, one of the best edge duos in the league. So it would be pretty scary, but I think they also need to complement it with some interior guys, which I think they might be losing. They're losing Snacks, who's more of a run defender, who they released. They might be losing one of their interior guys. I think Hand is still there. Who's the guy that they're losing? Robinson? They might be losing Robinson, I think. They might re-sign him. I'm not sure, but a lot of their guys on their D-line were injured last year, so hopefully they can get a healthy unit next year, and that will look a lot better for their defense. Oh, trash talking. My bad. Is he the best trash talking quarterback? He's the funniest. Is he the best, though? I don't know. Honestly. I don't really hear a lot of the clips that people... I did like Lamar's little shots at people. Brady is actually supposedly pretty good. I would think Rodgers would be pretty good at trash talking, but I don't know. But Rivers is definitely the funniest. Busboy says, "Remember last year when you did the trivia game with viewers? You think you could do that again?" Yeah, I could do that again. I would maybe have to have competition on the show, possibly, or I would just do it by myself. We'll have to see. Zane, do I have my Brady jersey with me? I don't think I have a Brady jersey with me in Toronto. It's only in BC, but I would if I could. Zane, but you better... Bro, it's up to you to join the Discord. I mean, all the benefits are there. You get previews of the upcoming videos. You get to chat with all the celebrities in the chat. You get to chat... you get to get the latest updates on the videos. You get to get the latest notification on when those videos are being released. And you can have some fun while... Boom! Odell Beckham gets traded to the Patriots. Immediate reaction from all the bottom line viewers in that chat. So make sure you do join the Discord. Bob says, "Mitch, is Tua going to drop by chance?" There's a chance, as you say in that, there's a chance that he drops. but I don't think it's like high. I think Tua's probably going to go at least in the top 10. If not, oh, you're talking about the Michigan one. Okay, we'll see. One sec. I don't know if it would fit over like but I'll have to try. I think Tua's going to go in the top 10. I don't know if he's for sure going to go in the top 5. I think he'll go in the top 5, but I'm not for sure. Nicholas says, do you think that there is 7 playoff teams next year, that 3 NFC West teams will make the playoffs? There's definitely a case to be made for that. I think there's 4 teams off the top, 4 teams in the division. And I think you would say that all 4 could potentially make it. So, yeah, if there's 7 teams, I think 3 will make it. Kyle says, Mitch, if you're a 49ers GM, what would you do in free agency? Armstead, Sanders, and Ward are free agents. Buckner and Kittle need extensions. Who should we draft at 31st? I'm worried someone might walk. Ooh, it's a lot of questions to be answered. I'm thinking that Armstead is going to walk, and I think Sanders is going to walk. I think they're going to re-sign Ward. I think they're going to extend Kittle, obviously, and they're going to extend Buckner. I think that they'll probably... See, the thing is that they're bringing back Trent Taylor from IR for receiver. I think they're probably going to need to get a receiver, probably at a lower contract, or draft another receiver if they can't keep Sanders. But I don't think Sanders is irreplaceable. I think that they might have to move on from Armstead just based on money, but they might franchise him and then end up trading him, which would probably be a pretty good idea if they can get a second-round pick out of somebody for him. And then I think in the second round, you have to go with... that's a tough question for them. I could see receiver being one of the picks that they go with. I could see... I don't want to say defensive line because they're already stacked there. They're pretty good at linebacker. Maybe a corner, potentially, a late first round. But they're solid there. It depends who they lose. They could go offensive line, honestly. In the interior, specifically. Probably like guard, maybe. That's tough, though. They could also go tackle to replace Staley. I mean, there's a lot of options that they have because their team is so talented. They don't have too many holes. So I could see them going all of those different avenues. But I do think that what is likely to happen is they're going to at least lose one of those guys, if not 2 of those guys. And if they could keep Armstead, that would be great. But I think the bigger focus would be Buckner and Kittle. But I do think Sanders is going to walk for sure. And I think Ward will probably be back. And if he's not back, they'll have to sign someone out of free agency. And there's a lot of good safeties, so they could potentially sign Armstead, let Ward walk, and then sign somebody in free agency. Because there's a lot of good safeties out there. Like one coming to mind that I don't think would be too expensive would be like Trey Boston. It's not official, but it's looking like it could be. Was Mingo worth our first-round pick? It looks like so far it was. Arthur said, hey, Mitch, I wanted Winovich last year for the Lions. How big of a leap do you think he'll make for you guys this year? I think he'll be a stud. FYI, if Tua goes top 10, he's going top 5. Yeah, I think he will go top 5. I think he's going to be really good this year. I mean, he was good last year. I think he kind of fell under the radar. They're going to need him to be big because I think they're going to end up losing Van Noy and maybe even Jamie Collins. So those are 2 guys that are kind of like hybrid edge and linebacker type players. Winovich will probably end up being the team's best pass rusher next year. I could see him having 7, 8, 9 sacks somewhere in there. He's just got a great motor. He plays with a lot of heart. He learns quickly, and I think he fits the defense very well. What I'd like to see the Patriots do is I'd like to see them bring in, like, if they lose like a Van Noy and they can somehow keep Collins, which I don't know if they necessarily need to keep one of them, but I do think that they need to bring in another edge guy to help out that position, and just a guy that can get after the quarterback. Like, it doesn't need to be a guy that can play both positions like Collins or Van Noy, but just a guy to get after the quarterback to help out Winovich and some of those other guys that they do rush. As you know, the Patriots aren't like a big rushing team. They don't just get after the quarterback. They're more like about blitzing and stunts, and they rely on their secondary to create their pressure. So we'll see what they do. But Winovich should have a really good year, I do think. Busboy says Herbert to the Colts. Interesting. Tua to the Bucks, says CMC. I don't see it. Bucks would have to trade up a lot. Ghost Skittle says Niners will go secondary in the first round. I honestly don't know if he could fall he could fall to 31, because a lot's going to change between now and the draft. Kyle says, if Armstead walks, how do you feel about Solomon Thomas being the starter? What's his ceiling? That's an interesting question, because I think he was okay this year, but you also have like a number of interesting players on your defense as well. I just want to look at the depth chart so I don't forget about anybody. But there were some players that you actually lost last season that I thought were playing well. Like DJ Jones was playing very well last year. You have like Julian Taylor, Earl Mitchell, Sheldon Day, who's also a free agent. They might let him walk. He's more of like a run stuffer. But like DJ Jones was playing very well. So like if you had Buckner, Thomas, and Jones mixed in there together, I don't think that would be bad. And you could always add like a small free agent to throw in there. I think it would more hurt the edge presence more than the middle of the defense, actually, because I think, you would have Boza and Ford, but then you wouldn't have that third guy rotating in there unless you play Jones and Buckner beside each other and you have Thomas rotate on the edge as well, which I don't really think he's suited for. I think you'd prefer to bring in like an edge player. But that's my opinion. If they lose Armstead, my guess is that they will probably try and bring in two players that can replace him in two facets of the game. So more of a run stuffer and then also a pass rusher. You can't just replace him with one guy. But I don't think that I don't think it would be awful. I still think they would have like one of the three best defensive lines in the league, if not still the best. So Nicholas says, as of right now, who do you think the top 5 picks will be? That's a good question. I don't even, honestly, off the top of my head, I don't even know what the top 5 is. Like, I don't even know who has the picks. So let's look. So, obviously, the Bengals. I think that's going to be Burrow, obviously. I don't think they're going to go any different direction than that. When you give the guy the jersey already, I think that's pretty much telling your pick. Also, pretty much every expert has him as the number 1 quarterback. Some people have Tua, surprisingly, but I don't think that the injuries will allow Tua to go number 1. And Burrow had a really good year this year. He has a lot of things that people do like: poise, accuracy, leadership. I think he will go first. Number 2, I think Chase Young is probably going to go number 2. He's the best player in the draft. He's the best defensive player in the draft. He'll probably go number 2. I do expect the Dolphins to try and trade up into the top 3 or 4, and I would expect Tua to go in there somehow. I would think that the one pick that I'm not so sure about is what the Lions will do, whether that's going to be offensive line, whether that's going to be corner. They could go with the corner. They could go with a tackle. I don't think they'll go interior D-line. I don't think they'll go linebacker. I think it will probably be corner. So corner or line, offensive line for the Lions. And then for the Chargers, or the Lions will trade back, either way. And then the Lions, the Chargers, I could see the Chargers going with Herbert. I could see the Chargers going with offensive line, whatever they feel like in that spot. But Let's say Herbert, just for the sake of the video. Let's go with Herbert. I do feel like Herbert will be a guy that rises a little bit for some people, some experts, because he does have some good tools to work with. All right, guitar loving teen. See you later. Who should be the first pick in fantasy? I was actually going to make a video about fantasy not too long from now. I think it probably should be McCaffrey as of right now. Arthur says, got a perfect guy for you to fit that role. Better served as a complimentary pass rushing guy and not the guy in the jack role you could get for a late pick, I'm sure. Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do with him in Detroit. But I'm not sure if Detroit's going to try and keep him or not. We'll have to see. That's an interesting name, though. I think there's a lot of those type of guys that Belichick just ends up finding off different teams, and they end up kind of fitting the system well. But I would like to keep one or Collins or Van Noy. I think Van Noy is going to be too much money, unfortunately, but I do think that Collins could be worth or could be invested in for not too much. I don't think anyone's going to spend crazy on him because he didn't really do well in Cleveland. Kyle says Ronald Blair was really a good pass rusher for the 49ers. Yeah, that's true. But he tore his ACL on Monday Night Football. Thoughts on him? Yeah, I agree. I mean, what I saw from him early in the season, he was really good, and he always kind of stood out. He kind of flashed early, but he is also a free agent, according to our lads. So we'll have to see if they re-sign him, but that will definitely be a lot cheaper than re-signing Eric Armstead. So he could potentially be one of those guys as well that adds into the mix. Is BottomLineView going to be doing XFL content? No. Sorry. Maybe one live stream. That's probably about it. Yeah, Burrow apparently has small hands. Benjamin says, do you think Tom Brady is going to stay with the Patriots? Benjamin, go check out my latest quarterback predictions video, and you can find my answer there. Thank you. Guys, just another reminder, if you haven't already, if you're subscribed to the channel but you don't have notifications on, guys, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel, but also hit that notification bell and hit all. That's how you'll get all of the videos. And as well, guys, make sure you go to the Discord, join the new Discord chat. That's where you'll get the latest previews, all of my talk in the Discord chat. You can ask me questions in the Discord chat. You can ask me questions for upcoming videos or give me ideas for upcoming videos. And you'll be notified immediately when I go live. You'll immediately be notified, oh, I'm thinking about doing this video. This video is coming out. So all of that will be done in the Discord chat. And that's another way for me to get you guys my content without YouTube being in the way, because YouTube sometimes can be a little annoying. Dat a boy says, Lions will take Isaiah Simmons. They would have to trade back. I don't think they're going to take him that high in the draft, personally. Zane says, who's your favorite Laker of all time? It is number 24 or 8, depending how you go, is Kobe. Busboy says, I think I joined the Discord chat. He did. Robot guy. I see him. He's in there. I did not see any Kobe's memorial. I was in class, but I'll have to check it out. Am I going to do the start bench cut video? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really get enough responses, I felt, to really warrant the video. But maybe I'll do it down the line. Maybe I'll come up with another question for you guys. Or maybe if I do start the podcast, I'll do it on the podcast. We'll have to see. Kevin says Baker Mayfield, overrated. Jesse says, is Baker the long-term answer for Cleveland? That's a good question, because he's had one pretty good season. He's had one not very good season. I do have TikTok. I made one video on TikTok, but I don't know. It's hard with TikTok because I don't know like where my content really fits on TikTok. Like, I don't really know where to go with it. Like, do I make short little analysis clips? Like, would you guys be interested in that? Because I'm not really going to be making these dance videos or anything like that people make on TikTok. I'm interested in it because I think it's a good place to be. It's a good platform to be on. But I just don't know. I'm kind of like thinking about it. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. Have I met any NFL players? If so, who was it? I actually met Colin Kaepernick this week on Monday. It's pretty cool. Other than that, have I met any NFL players? That's a good question. I don't know if I've actually straight up met them. I've seen them, but I don't know if I've actually met any. That's a good question. No, I don't think I have. Like straight up, like shook their hand and had a person-to-person conversation. I don't think I have. Yeah, I know, Ghost Skittle. It's hard. You can't really do that on TikTok. Is Baker overrated when everyone calls him overrated? How is Baker overrated when everyone calls him overrated? I don't know if he is kind of overrated, but it depends what you think of him. Like everything. You could think he's underrated. It's perfectly fine. Wow, Ghost Skittles met everybody. Those are some random names. Yeah, I met Colin Kaepernick on Monday. He was at a gym. Baker will be the worst quarterback after Burrow gets there. We'll have to see. But you could argue that. Is there a player you like as a player, but his personal life is a different story? I think the easy answer is Tyreek Hill. And Antonio Brown. But Antonio Brown doesn't really play anymore. I think Tyreek Hill. Jesse says, I met Burt Jones in a Mexican restaurant in LA about 20 years ago. I was young, but I'd seen the old highlights. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We were like really close to him. And, you know, we went up to him and said hi and stuff. What's up, Leroy? Hey, this guy, Leroy Ward. If you want to talk about a Madden player, that's Leroy right there. Kevin Durkant's got nothing on Leroy. Nicholas says, what quarterback do you think will take the biggest jump next year in the NFL? Ooh, I think probably the easy answer is Kyler. I think that's the popular answer. Other answers. Josh Allen could take a big step. I could see that. If they put more help around him, I could see that potentially. Dolphins don't really have one right now, so I can't say them. I don't think it will be Sam Darnold, but he could make a step forward. I just am not a huge Darnold guy. AFC North, I don't think it will be Baker. Burrow's a rookie, so no. Lamar, no. He's already MVP. Can't say that. Ben's there, no. AFC West, you have, I was going to say Rivers. He's no longer there. Carr, I don't think so, if he's even there. Mahomes, no. Who's the other one? Oh, Locke. I can see Locke taking a big step because we've only really seen like 5 or 6 games from him. NFC, I don't think it will be Haskins, unfortunately. Daniel Jones might, maybe. NFC South, I mean, I think Winston is what he is. He might be a little better next year in terms of less interceptions. Don't know who the Panthers quarterback is. Breeze is old, so he's not taking a step forward. Who else? Matt Ryan, no. NFC North. Cousins, no. Rodgers, no. Stafford, all those guys are established. Trubisky, no. NFC, I think it's Kyler, Locke, and Allen. I think those are the 3 guys that I could come up with. Leroy says, what do the Packers need to get over the hump? I actually already answered this question, surprisingly. But Packers fans want to know. I think what they need is first linebackers, because, well, they're probably losing Martinez. They've said that they're not going to be bringing him back. So they're going to be losing Martinez. That basically leaves a giant void. I think they're going to go a different direction with their linebackers. I think they're going to bring in more depth, first off, so multiple linebackers, whether that's one through the draft, one through free agency, multiple through free agency, through the draft, whatever it may be. But I think they're going to get more athletic at linebacker, younger at linebacker, and that will be a big help, both in coverage and also versus the run. Second thing is they need to add one or two big people up front, whether that's big defensive tackles or guys that fit their defense, not edge players. Like, they already have that covered, whether that's Preston or Za'Darius or even Gary, but they need to add, but besides Clark, that's really their weakness. They need to add a couple guys there because, as we saw in the NFC Championship, they could not stop the run. So linebacker and big boys up front. Their secondary is pretty solid, but I could see them adding like maybe a depth corner, something like that. Offensively, they definitely need to get a receiver. I've been saying that back a couple of years, I feel like now. They need a receiver. They need a tight end. Outside of Devontae Adams, they just need somebody that can threaten the defense. I think one that I really like, which I might even put as my prediction, is Robbie Anderson. I think would be a great fit for the Packers. If they don't go there, they could go with the draft, which is stacked with receivers. But a tight end as well, I think, would help. But they're good at running back. I think they need to keep Bulaga at tackle. But those are the things that I see, and I think the Packers can be very good if they do address those needs. I think they can be definitely back where they were last year. They have the makings of it. I'm a little intrigued and concerned to see what happens with LaFleur in his second season, but I think that if they add some talent, they'll be good. What else? Mr. Hot Take. Oh, he says Josh Rosen. That's gross. Kyle says, how well do you think Jimmy G will play next season? I think first it depends who they get at receiver. I don't think they're going to have Sanders, so they're probably going to have somebody else. But I think Jimmy's going to have a better season next year statistically. I'm going to say he's going to be around 4,000 yards. He's going to have about 27 touchdowns, 28 touchdowns. I'll say 10 interceptions, 10 to 12 interceptions, and a rating of around 100. I think he's going to have about the same season, but just slightly better. I think you're going to see it more in his on-field play and the less reliance on the run game offensively and a little bit more freedom to pass the ball. I think that's where you're going to see it more than the numbers, but that would be my guess for Jimmy. I think people forget that this was his first season this year. I mean, as a starter. First straight-up season. He will be better next year. Do I think he's, like, great? No, but I think he's good. And I think he'll have a better season. Which quarterback needs the most help right now? You could certainly argue it's Tom Brady, but I don't think it is because he's not even on the team right now. Darnold might be one of them. Whoever the Miami quarterback is. If that's Fitzpatrick. Haskins probably. Actually, I think it's Haskins. Because I don't think Haskins is really mobile. He can't really create on his own. And he doesn't really have any receivers outside as the scary Terry. And he has no offensive line. Especially with Williams being out for the whole season. So I think it's probably those guys that I brought up. But probably number one on the list is Haskins. Benjamin says, who do you think the Chiefs will play on opening night? I think it's going to be the Patriots. But we'll see. I don't really know who else they play. I looked through their schedule when it came out, but I'm pretty sure the one that stood out the most was the Patriots, and I think that would be the best game, would be the Patriots. So, as long as Tom Brady is there, of course. Singh says, is Danny Dimes the next Tom Brady? If not, who do you think? I don't think anybody is the next Tom Brady, but I think Danny Dimes is going to be solid. I don't know if he's ever going to be great. I don't think he'll get to the Hall of Fame level, but I think he could be a solid starter. Who will be the next Tom Brady? Just the next great quarterback. Obviously, Mahomes is obvious. Stupid question. Who else? I think Kyler's going to be very good. I'm obviously guys like Wilson are already well established. And who's a young quarterback that I think will be really good? I think Lamar will be good, but I don't know if... I think Lamar's going to end up being like borderline Hall of Famer. Missing someone. NFC... I don't think it's like Dak or Wentz. Like, I don't think the next Tom Brady exists right now. I think Mahomes is his own entity in itself. I think he's Mahomes. Nicholas says, hot take, Jets will win the AFC East. That is a hot take. Arthur says, folks are sleeping on the possibility of the Skins telling everybody to piss off and take Tua. If they are high on him, new coach, new front office, why not? Perfect situation for Tua. I guess. But I feel like you kind of want to... If they're really high on him, like, I could see it. But I feel like you need to at least give Haskins a full season. Don't you? If not, just go next year. Kevin Durkant says the Packers should trade for OBJ. I think every team should trade for OBJ. But that's not going to happen. Ghost says Darnold. Kevin says, Amari got punked by Gilmore. Took himself out of the game because Gilmore had him on lock. That's kind of true. Kyle says, how do you feel about the Monday Night Football broadcasting booth last season? Trash. I think it was one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. Only better than the season before that. Cardinals will improve. I agree. All right, any last questions, guys? What time is it? It's been an hour. So, any last questions, I will answer. If not, guys, make sure, if you haven't already, Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for some reason. If you're just tuning in for the first time, which I'm sure you're all subscribed. For the last time, notification bell is huge. Hit that notification bell. Hit the all. The first one. The all. Hit it. All right. And also... join the Discord chat, guys. Brand new Discord chat made today, like 2 hours ago at the max. Make sure you join that Discord chat for the latest updates on videos, for teases of the upcoming videos, for chat with the celebrities in the chat, like Kevin Durkant. He'll love to talk to you. All that and more. Get in the Discord chat to be a Bottom Line View loyal subscriber. All right? Get in that Discord chat. It's in the description. It's also in this chat if you scroll up, and you just download the app, hit that link, and you get in there. Kyle says, does moving Sherman to safety make sense in the future? Potentially, but I think he's going to end up retiring at corner. Kevin says Mahomes would have to be able to win with a bunch of slow white guys. Then he'd be the next Brady. Good answer. Kyle says, thanks for answering my questions, Mitch. I appreciate it. All right, on that note, guys, I hope you enjoyed this live stream, live chat, and Q&A and channel update. I will try and keep you guys updated as best as I can, but for those updates, it's best that you do join the Discord. I'll continue to plug it on every video, as well as probably in the community tab over the next few days to get as many people in there as possible. But this was just I felt like I haven't gone live in a while, and I needed to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on in my head and what I'm thinking going forward, and then trying to inform you guys. So, thanks for joining. It's been Mitch. Peace out.